Good afternoon and welcome along to another video. Today is Sunday the 7th of June 2020, and in today's video I'm going to look ahead and preview night number 20 of Remote Darts League 2. But before we talk about night number 20, let's look back and reflect at night number 19. It was an enthralling night. We've seen 59 of the possible 60 legs that can be played on a Remote Darts League night. The games went as follows. Richard Veenstra beat John O'Shea by 6 legs to 4. Joe Chaney beat Justin Thompson by 6 legs to 4. The next two matches ended in a draw, with Joe Chaney drawn with John O'Shea and Justin Thompson drawn with Richard Veenstra. John O'Shea then went on and beat Justin Thompson by 6 legs to 3, and the night was rounded off with Richard Veenstra beating Joe Chaney by 6 legs to 4. So that makes the table look as follows. We've got 3 confirmed players for the semi-finals so far, and that's James Richardson, Richard Veenstra and Paul Hogan. So who will join them? It's either going to be John O'Shea or Jim Williams, as we can see from the table. Everyone else has played their games and Tony O'Shea can't catch up. He's the only other player that's playing tonight. So it's Tony O'Shea, Jim Williams, James Richardson and Paul Hogan that's playing tonight. It's the 4 semi-finals from Remote Darts League 1. So let's talk about the players in a little bit more depth. Tony O'Shea currently sits in 11th position with 13 points. He's got 5 wins so far this campaign, 3 draws and 4 losses. His wins have came over David Cameron by 6 legs to 2. He's picked up 3 6-0 wins over Lorraine Winstanley, Stacey Pace and Laura Turner, and he picked up a 6-1 win against Tina Osborne. He's picked up draws against Richard Veenstra, Joe Chaney and Larry Butler. It's been an inconsistent season compared to it was in phase number 1 for Tony O'Shea, but he is a legend of the sport. We can't deny that. The next player we're going to talk about is Jim Williams. He's the current World Trophy winner in the BDO, and he's a current finalist in the BDO World Championships. And he's in 9th position so far with 16 points. So he'll have to pick up 4 points and have to improve his leg difference by at least 5 legs to get in front of John O'Shea. Now, he's had too many draws in my opinion. He's had 4 draws with his 6 wins and 2 losses. He's drawn against John O'Shea, he's drawn against David Cameron, he's drawn against Larry Butler, and he's drawn against Thibault Tricole. His losses have came to Joe Chaney by 6 legs to 2 and Richard Veenstra by 6 legs to 4. But he is in good form because last time out he won all 3 games by 6 legs to 1, beating Justin Thompson, Darren Herewini and Tina Osborne. I think that Jim Williams is stepping up his form at the right time, and it'll be interesting to see if he can catch John O'Shea in 4th position. Next player we're going to talk about is Paul Hogan. Now he currently sits in 3rd place with 20 points and 9 wins so far, 2 draws and 1 loss. He is a great player. It's wondered how that Paul Hogan's never took that step to the next level, how he's never been a world champion, how he's never been a world master, why he hasn't took that next step. It's probably that one little performance every now and again that just slips in, because constantly he would surround about that 100 average. As we seen at the BDO World Championships, he was outstanding and he dropped his level for 1 game, and that was the game he got beat in. But let's talk about who he's lost to. He's lost to Richard Veenstra by 6 legs to 3. He's picked up draws against Thibault Tricole and John O'Shea. His notable wins are a 6-0 win against David Cameron, 6-4 against Larry Butler and 6-3 against Justin Thompson. I think he went for a very good night. I'm interested to see if he can top the group, because this is the battle between him and James Richardson, who can top the group. So let's talk about James Richardson. He has been outstanding. He won Remote Darts 1 and he's in a great position to top the group ahead of the playoffs in Remote Darts League 2. He currently sits in 1st place with 22 points. He's had 10 wins and 2 draws. He had 115 average against Lorraine Winstanley. It was an outstanding performance. He used 78 darts in that 6-0 win against Lorraine Winstanley. He's been great scoring, but his doubles have let him down in a couple of games in the games that he's drawn against Justin Thompson and Darren Herewini. He's picked up 5 6-0 wins. He's picked up 2 6-2 wins, and he's picked up 3 6-3 wins so far this campaign. So let's talk about the games that are going to take place. I'll just put them up just now. We'll see Jim Williams take on James Richardson. I think it's a very, very tight game. I think that Jim Williams will edge this game by 6 legs to 4. The second match of the evening, we see Paul Hogan take on Tony O'Shea. Now, Tony doesn't have much to play for, and I think Paul will get the job done in this game by 6 legs to 3. The third game of the evening sees Paul Hogan take on Jim Williams. Now, Paul has already qualified for the playoffs, and I think that Jim's hunger and desire to get the job done will be just a little bit too much for Paul Hogan. And these two did play in the BDO World Championships, and Jim picked up the win in that game. And I think Jim will pick up the win in this game by 6 legs to 5. The next game sees Tony O'Shea take on James Richardson, and I think that James will want to top the group, and he's got a great desire to do that, and I think he'll win this game by 6 legs to 2. I think that Tony will put up a good show, but I think that James will really up it against a legend like Tony O'Shea, and I think James could average 100 in this game in his 6-2 win. The next match and penultimate game of the evening sees Tony O'Shea take on Jim Williams, and I think that Jim will edge this game by 6 legs to 3 over Tony O'Shea. I think that hunger and desire to get into playoffs from Jim will just edge him over Tony O'Shea's performance in this game. The last game of the evening sees James Richardson take on Paul Hogan. Now, these two have been at each other who's going to top the group, and I think there'll be great camaraderie in this match, but I think James Richardson will edge this match by 6 legs to 5. So I think we're in for a very good evening's play. If you want to catch the action, you can do so on the Remote Darts League YouTube channel. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share the video. And subscribe to the channel. And until tomorrow, I'll see you then. Goodbye.